One of the most interesting things about being on YouTube is really seeing a lot of your guys' comments about why you're getting into software development, why you're teaching yourself how to code. And I'm surprised by how many people are doing this because they have this app idea that they think is really going to be big, right? Like they think it's going to be the next $1 million or maybe even $1 billion idea. And so they say, hey, look, I'm only learning code just to do this one thing. And a lot of people ask me, is this actually possible? So in this video, I actually wanted to cover that. For any of those of you out there who are learning to code, not to really change careers, you don't want to become a software developer necessarily, you just want to build a really lucrative app, get investors, and then sell it when it's at the top, right? And make lots of money and live on some Caribbean island or something. I don't know, whatever your idea is. But I'm gonna cover that because I actually have some experience in trying my own startup, and I failed, by the way, but I will give you my experience of teaching myself to become a programmer, of trying to start my own business, and what you can basically expect if you are really trying to learn to code just because you want to build some app. Now, if you're wondering who I am, I'm Andy Sterkwitz, and I actually taught myself to code back in 2014. I landed a job, and now I actually coach and mentor people who are looking to become software developers, so people who are looking to change careers. So this channel is all about content related to that, so how to find a job, how to cultivate a skill set. So I highly recommend hitting the subscribe button below, but also make sure to hit the bell icon so you get notifications anytime I put out a new video. So with all that being said, so what is the truth? Can you just, pick up a few courses? Can you spend a couple months here just learning and get to the point where you can actually create a full-fledged application that you can sell or get investors for? And the answer is yes, but, right? Like a big old but. Yes, of course you could do it, but it's not likely. It's not likely to happen in a short period of time is probably the better way to say it. Meaning that if you think this is going to happen in 3 months and your application idea is even remotely like beyond simple, right? Like if it has any sort of complexity at all, then the likelihood of that happening is very, very, very small. The reason being is, look, you could teach yourself to code. You can actually become a pretty darn good programmer in 3 or 6 months if you really dedicate a lot of time to it, but that still doesn't mean you can build an application, or it doesn't mean you have a good understanding of how to scale an application or how to even design an application that people want to use. And so this really comes from the fact that I imagine that most people see their favorite applications that they use and they go, oh, this is easy. This is just a few different things I have to build, right? Like, take your favorite application, okay? Something maybe like Gmail or something like that. Something that is easy to use. Most people like understand it. My grandma could probably use it if she needed to. And people look at that and go, yeah, you just, you send emails, you read emails, you move them into different folders. Like how hard could that be? But behind the scenes, it's actually quite a bit more complicated. I mean, just the fact that Gmail is probably the most widely used email service in the world. I imagine it's gotta be one of the top 5. They have massive problems with scaling something like that at such a large scale when there might be hundreds of millions of people using that service. That's not even counting the fact that the Gmail service, right, like the Gmail application is actually incredibly complex. There are just so many moving parts to Gmail, but as a user, you don't really pick up on that, or you usually don't have appreciation for it because if you have no programming experience, how could you, right? I got this awakening as well when I first started back in 2015 when I got my first job, and I went to a company that sends emails. Like we were an email marketing company. So we were very similar to something like MailChimp. We would send like 13 million emails a day for our users. And going into that, I thought I was pretty good. I thought I had a pretty good grasp on how to build applications. I'd build a JavaScript Tetris. I'd build a few applications in C#. But when I got there, I really had my mind blown by how complex this seemingly simple application was. It really didn't have any moving parts to it, like it didn't seem like it, but then when you dove into the code, you're like, holy cow, this thing is complex. And what I realized even more than that is building a complex application like that is extremely difficult because if you don't have a grasp on good design principles, if you don't know how to build a product that is complex, right? If a lot of moving parts from the code perspective, then you're going to write a lot of spaghetti code. And spaghetti code is a nightmare to work with. It's a nightmare to build upon. It's a nightmare to add new features to. It's sort of like duct taping different things onto a ball of duct tape. Like it just becomes this nasty mess. And so that was something I never had experienced before. My code before that, when I was working on my own, was just something I threw together. It was not very well written. But when I went to my first company, I learned a ton about how to design a product, how to build a product so that it can scale, so that the code is clean, so that way you can build things on top of it. And it never really could have come on my own. I had spent a lot of time by myself, again, teaching it. But when I actually went to that first company, I had great people around me, very, very smart people with like probably combined like almost 80 years or probably like 60 to 80 years of experience, I think. Probably less than that, but let's say somewhere around there. And they were able to teach me so many things because I was able to ask questions of them. They were really like mentors to me. And that was the key to getting me to the point where I eventually tried to build my own company. And I basically, to give you a short story of that, I'll leave a link up here, I guess right here somewhere, where you can actually watch a video of me explaining the story about how I tried to start my own company. Basically, it was a software application for immigration attorneys to help fill out their paperwork. And I had actually been in this industry before. I was actually a law clerk, and I saw there was a really massive opportunity to create a great product there because all the ones that were on the market were not that great. And so I thought with my skill set that I could actually do that. And what I found was there was a very rude awakening because I was working a full-time job, and to build the product that I thought I could build was more complex than I thought. Even I had a good understanding, it was still even more complex. And I ended up not having as much time as I wanted. And I just really, by myself, couldn't handle building this product. The smarter thing to do would have been actually to get other developers in with this company with me and give them equity. Anyhow, so if you're looking to do this, if you're dead set, you are going to teach yourself to code because you're going to start your own company, here's my recommendation. It's probably not something you are going to like, but this is my general recommendation. Number one, if you don't want to wait, if you are like, you're not waiting years for this, you're not going to become a programmer, you want to start your own company, it's actually going to be easier for you to just do this all yourself as an entrepreneur and not try to figure out the coding side of things. Talk to programmers. Go to places where programmers are and try to sell them on your dream. Try to sell them on your idea and get them into your company. Give them equity. Do whatever you can to get them so that you can avoid doing the coding stuff. You should be doing the CEO stuff, right? Like raising money. You should be trying to get investors. You should be trying to get the developers to develop what you have in mind. There's no sense in wasting time trying to learn to code when at the end of the day, really what you need to be is the visionary. You need to be the entrepreneur. Now, if you want to also learn to code because you really think that that's what you'd love to do and you have a longer timeline, you're patient with this, then what I would recommend you do is to change careers and actually become a programmer. So teach yourself to code, go through the process of learning how to code, and then get a job somewhere, hopefully where there's smart people, where they can teach you a lot, where you can learn a lot about how actual products are built and how people make decisions about what to include in their product, how to have products that can scale, that don't have a ton of bugs. Those things are really, really important because when you do create this app that is $1 million or $1 billion idea, those concepts are really important. And the only way that you can really learn them is through experience. You can read as many books as you want, but when you finally can see what other people have done, the learning curve is a lot shorter. And that's what I generally recommend. And that may take years. It may take you 5 years to get to that point. But at the end of the day, if you enjoy programming, if you really want to get into it, that's the better way to do it. So sorry if I disappointed some of you guys out there. More than anything else, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are that type of person, if you really are dead set on doing this and you really want to do this quickly and I've disappointed you, or you gained some insight to this, you've got some expectations set, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Other than that, please leave a like, as YouTube really likes that. Their algorithm is like, you gotta have likes for some reason. And by the way, guys, if you're new to software development, you're just getting into this and you are looking for some more information, I've actually created the top 5 programming languages to learn in 2019. It's a free report that just gives you a basic idea of the best programming languages from my perspective of what you can learn, because there's a lot of information out there, but this PDF will walk you through some of the basics. Now, if you want a copy of that, I will leave a link in the description below. You can go ahead and download that. Other than that, that's all I got. Yeah, I guess that's it. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Peace out.